Hey, fellow white guys.
I just gotta stand in solidarity with my people.
Are you white? Are you sure you're not Jewish?
Holy shit, this is gonna be edgy.
Hey everyone, welcome to EdgyDtv. I'm your resident edgelord, Edgy D. Now ever since the Trump inauguration, there's been tons of crazy footage of various protests. There's been the screaming lady. This is library.
This is library.
That retard at Starbucks that embarrassed a black lady.
I don't know you personally, but you seem so
It's been going on for 10 minutes already.
A women's march in Germanistan where they were singing Allahu Akbar. Antifags rioting and sucker punching Richard Spencer.
Nazis don't love me, they kind of hate me. Of a symbol.
Antifags rioting at a Milo event.
Ma'am?
Shia LaBeouf's He Will Not Divide Us livestream getting trolled.
Divide us. Shut the fuck up! Pepe! You will not divide us! Teams will not divide us! Teams will not divide us!
But one clip stood out to me as different. All those other clips were typical SJW malarkey, but this video shows an SJW phenomenon that is much less obvious to the eye of the normie. This clip was filmed by an alt-right guy out at an Inauguration Day protest, just going for a little troll. Eli Mosley's video is called Hello Fellow White Men. Let's check it out.
Can I see your side? I like it. Can I see the other side too? White man against Trump. That's awesome. Are you white? Are you white?
I just gotta stand in solidarity with my people.
Are you white? Are you sure you're not Jewish? Are you Jewish? You're Jewish, aren't you?
It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. Jews aren't white. I read it on the forward that Jews aren't white.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, right? So why are you saying that? You're saying that's racist, isn't it?
Embarrassing. What?
You're saying no more whites or whatever, and you're not
I didn't
white.
say anything like that.
Come on, well, let me see the sign. Let's see what it says again.
Right now.
You're Jewish and you're holding that sign. Nice typical tricks there.
Get over yourself.
Typical tricks there, Shlomo. Are you sure you're not Jewish?
I thought this video was hilarious. It's also uncanny because it portrays the negative Jewish stereotype of the crafty Jew manipulating the Goyim. It almost plays out like Nazi propaganda from 1930s Germany.
People without good instincts let themselves be deceived by this mimicry and consider Jews the same as they are.
But it's not obvious to the untrained eye, unlike some of the other stereotypical actions where the motives are obvious, like a black thug robbing someone, or a redneck fucking his sister. You understand what's going on when you see those things. It's harder to analyze something like this, and more controversial too. If I try too hard not to generalize, some people will call me a cuck, but if I go too far, others will call me anti-Semitic. But no matter what, by the end of this video, I'm going to be labeled the new symbol of hate by the ADL, right alongside Pepe. Praise Kek. This was a very strange way to play identity politics, but the people in the comments seem to understand what just happened, and the comments are fucking hilarious. Now, I don't know how to use 4chan very well, but this is definitely something posted on their politically incorrect board poll. All the rabbis swarmed the video to shut it down, all the Hitler profiles joined in. What the fuck just happened? Let's take a closer look at the video.
Can I see your side? I like it. Can I see the other side too? White man against Trump. That's awesome. Are you white? Are you white?
I just gotta stand in solidarity with my people.
The irony of this statement is hilarious. That does not sound like what a white person who opposes tribalism and nationalism would say. His sign says, "White men against Trump." The implied subtext is that he opposes Trump because he is against open borders. This means that he doesn't want white people to be tribalistic and defend themselves against their demographic getting displaced by foreign ethnicities and cultures. Meanwhile, he's saying,
I just gotta stand in solidarity with my people.
which is a completely tribalistic statement. It's a tribal attitude that sounds out of place coming from a supposed white male who seems to oppose the tribalism of white people and the nationalism of America. It's as if he picked up this sense of tribalism from somewhere else. I've got to stand in solidarity with my people, my fellow Goyim. I mean white people. He's also trying to perpetuate the idea that it's the collective interest of white people to want open borders, and he himself is leading as an example of a white person who believes this. And because this guy obviously likes playing identity politics, I wouldn't be surprised if at any moment that was convenient for him, he would revert back to his minority status as a Jewish man in order to claim oppression from this white race that he claims to be a part of. I'd like to see what this guy thinks about open borders for Israel. Hey, he might even be in support of some peaceful and fair solution for the Israel-Palestine conflict. He does seem like a leftist. My guess would be that he doesn't, though.
Are you white? Are you sure you're not Jewish? Are you Jewish? You're Jewish, aren't you?
It's the same thing.
The lady in the background says that being Jewish and being white are the same thing in this case. A Jewish person could definitely identify as white, especially if they mixed in and assimilated with the white Gentiles over several generations. But this guy? Come on, let's be serious. This guy is racially Jewish. I'm guessing he's an Ashkenazi Jew. Or maybe he's an Ashkenazi, a new sect of neo-Nazis that are pro-Jewish. Another rival movement co-opted by the Jews. Either way, Shlomo here is totally setting off my Jewdar.
It's not the same thing. Jews aren't white. I read it on the forward that Jews aren't white.
Oh, that's true.
Is there like a secret rule that if you mention something to a Jew that another Jew said, they can't deny it? Kind of like that myth where if you ask an undercover cop if they're a cop, they can't lie to you?
If you ask a cop if he's a cop, he's like obligated to tell you. It's in the Constitution.
Are you a police officer?
No, I am not a police officer.
There you go. Enjoy.
Albuquerque police, you're under arrest. Get on the ground.
Except for this one's actually true.
Oh, that's true.
The filmer mentions that he read that Jews aren't white in The Forward, a popular pro-Jewish publication. There's no question now that this guy knows that his main identity is not white, and he's just presenting himself as a white man in order to influence the white people around him about what he thinks they should believe their collective interests are, when in fact this typically serves the collective interests of the Jewish people because multicultural societies have more racial conflicts that take the spotlight off of Jews. And it's understandable that maybe he feels threatened by anti-Semitism or white nationalism. Or maybe he just sympathizes with the refugees. But why is he pretending to hold these opinions specifically as a white man? My interpretation is that he believes that lots of Trump's fan base are white nationalists, so he's virtue signaling himself as one of the good guys and convincing other naive whites at the ANTIFA protest that open border policies are good. That is the subtext that I think lies beneath this encounter. Shlomo here has no response because he knows that he's been caught in this deception. He probably didn't expect that this was going to happen, as this kind of subversion is probably normal for somebody who has the audacity to do something like this. But then again, he's probably on the George Soros payroll, so it's not his fault that he's got to come up with all these wacky signs to keep the goyim in line.
Yeah, right? So why are you saying that? You're saying that's racist, isn't it?
Embarrassing. What?
You're saying no more whites or whatever, and you're not
I didn't
white.
say anything like that.
It doesn't say no more white people, but I think that this guy is probably trolling when he says that, but he's also an alt-right troll, so he could be referring to white genocide. This is the theoretical prediction that white people will soon become a minority in Western countries, and certainly open border policies, like that of Hillary Clinton increasing refugee intake by 550%, will displace the white demographics of the host countries. Add that to the fact that non-whites in America disproportionately vote Democrat, and Democrats could use this fact to increase immigration and ensure their power, not to mention higher birth rates among non-whites.
Well, let me see the sign. Let's see what it says again.
Right hand.
You're Jewish and you're holding that sign.
Shlomo refuses to turn his sign around because he knows he's been caught, and he clearly has no argument to justify his deception. Now Shlomo's about to get BTFO'd 4chan style.
You're Jewish and you're holding that sign. Nice typical tricks there.
Get over yourself.
Typical tricks there, Shlomo.
Hilarious. He was about to say merchant, a popular anti-Semitic meme that shows a cartoonishly evil-looking Jew who's happy to rip someone off. But I guess he realizes that he's not on the internet, so Shlomo would be much more appropriate. One of the comments on this video led me to another video with similar themes. Royce Mann is a young teen actor who gained a lot of attention for winning a slam poetry contest with a poem about his white privilege. It's a vomit-inducing poem where he calls out white males over their white privileges.
Dear everyone who isn't a middle or upper class white boy, I'm sorry.
Sucks BLM dick.
Dear white boys, I'm not sorry. I don't care if you think the feminists are taking over the world, or the Black Lives Matter movement has gotten a little too strong, because that's bullshit.
And then tells men that they should be more like women.
Hey white boys, it's time to act like a a woman.
It would make sense if his activist mom helped him write it, or even wrote it for him. And of course, people soon find out that he's Jewish. Not once does he mention the privileges that come with having a racial and cultural identity that have strong in-group preferences and the highest average income of any religion. But that doesn't stop him from completely denigrating white people for having an invisible blankie of privilege.
If the tables were turned and I didn't have my white boy privilege safety blankie to protect me. Now I realize that there's enough blankie to be shared.
Some edgy journalists found out that his father is Jewish and his brother participates in Jewish film festivals and plays Jewish roles in movies. Literally roles like Holocaust boy. Hey goy, don't forget the 6 trillion. Pay reparations. And once confronted of these allegations regarding his white privilege poem and his Jewishness, he goes off on a tangent about how he's sad that people are anti-Semitic. And in the same breath, he calls for people not to judge each other based on their identity. After getting famous for a poem that literally judges people based on their identity. Listen, I'm not just gonna hassle somebody over their privileges just because they're Jewish. But if you're gonna play identity politics and shit all over white people by generalizing them and saying that they have this invisible privilege that they need to atone for, while you enjoy the benefits of relating to another identity that has a disproportionately higher social status and a much stronger in-group preference than white people do, then I'm gonna call you out on your bullshit. So why don't you share your fucking blankie there, Shlomo? And now I'm a symbol of anti-Semitic hate. Move over, Pepe. Hey, I'm an equal opportunity offender. I'll call out anyone's bullshit. For example, if you're at church acting like you're possessed by a gay demon,
I loose him
I lose him.
from the curse
From the curse.
of homosexuality. The Holy Spirit! To the Holy Spirit!
The Holy Spirit.
The worst thing in the world for a filthy, stinking sex demon to say is the Holy Spirit.
then I'm sorry, buddy, but you just like cock. And this is coming from a guy who likes being around most of the Jews I've met. I doubt that most of the Jews that I know would approve of the kind of bullshit that we've watched today. And there's plenty of Jews that have more reasonable politics. They can be smart, they can hold deep conversations, and they're efficient, making them great people to work with. Yes, that's a good guy. Here is a shekel. Thanks, Shlomo. They also know a lot about comedy. And me personally, I'm a huge fan of the show Seinfeld. My favorite episode is where Kramer debuts his stand-up comedy act.
Rules out, he's a nigger! He's a nigger! He's a nigger!
Oh my god.
A nigger, Luke is a nigger! 50 years ago you had your own tied down with a fucking fork up your ass!
Good times. But worship aside, I'm not gonna let YouTube tell me who I can or can't criticize, whether it be a hook-nosed huckster or one of the filthy, faggoty, unwashed goyim. And the SPLC has declared that I'm literally Hitler. No surprise there. Now, I am not a white supremacist, even though my subscriber count recently just hit 1488, but I don't take pride in something that was just an accident of birth. I value ideas and merit, though I am worried for the future of Western civilization, especially when every identity group besides white people are being encouraged to play identity politics by the mainstream media.
My job is to shut other white people down when they want to interrupt. My job is to shut other white people down when they want to say, oh no, I'm not prejudiced. I'm a Democrat, I'm accepting. My job is to make sure that they get that they have privilege.
While simultaneously, white people are being called Nazis for attempting to look out for their own collective interests in the face of blatant discrimination and demographic displacement. Shit, you can even get called a Nazi for just disagreeing with identity politics.
You're letting these fucking neo-Nazis near here! You should kick their ass! Fuck you! Fuck you!
That's pretty fucked up. It's not racist for Westerners to want to slow down immigration to a pace where immigrants can assimilate at a higher rate and increase the safety of both the immigrants and the native residents. It's called civic nationalism, and it's quite fair. I fear that if people don't wake up to the threat of anti-white identity politics, it's gonna further legitimize white nationalism and push white people into a corner where they have to stand together in order to defend themselves.
Around the issue of race, we are so far out of alignment. I I don't even know the way back.
And so-called anti-fascists celebrating Nazi punching are going to cause even more trouble, as an increasing amount of people are going to be considered Nazis for not agreeing with anti-white identity politics.
Fuck you!
And I'm not willing to abandon the principle of judging people on an individual basis to determine if they're a good person. As an idealistic principle, with an awareness of the power of demographics, I would like to hold on to civic nationalism for as long as possible. That's one of the reasons why I think it's so important to ridicule these SJWs and their ideology. Ridiculing their ideology with satire is a great way to convince a larger audience that they are wrong, and they are useful idiots that are ultimately contributing to the social division and isolation that they are claiming that they are trying to fight. Oy vey, goy. You sound like a Nazi. What? Oh shit. The antifags have found me. Shlomo over here called me a Nazi, and now they're coming to punch me in the face. Shit, well I gotta get out of here. I'll meet up with you later at the He Will Not Divide Us live stream, and we'll do some trolling.
He will not divide us.
Alright, peace out. Thanks for watching, fuckheads. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Write something Jewy in the comments. If this video gets 1,000 likes, I'll literally become Hitler. Peace out, fuckers.
Throw the Jew down the well, so my country can be free. You must grab him by his horns, then we have a big party.
Oy vey, shut it down!